we have possibly two people here that have probably not heard the show before. So I'd like to at least welcome at least two people and say hello back to the people we already seen before and know and love and care about. And I'm glad they're here. Welcome to the Webcomic Beacon Penguicon 2011 live podcast recording show panel thing. And for those who don't know, the Webcomic Beacon is a podcast webcomic podcast that's been online since 2007, on average, recording weekly every Sunday. Well, we started Tuesday evenings, actually.
Did we start Tuesday evenings?
It was Tuesday evenings.
I remember nothing.
Well, you were there.
Guys.
That means nothing. Good.
So,
who are you?
We'll get to that in just a minute.
He's not
anyway.
ready for the build-up.
I'm Fes.
Yeah.
Too many things to list.
Yeah. The Webcomic Beacon is at webcomicbeacon.com, and of course I'm Fes of Too Many Things to List.com, because there are. And from the beginning we have Tanya Higgins.
Hi.
Of
Yeah.
the Webcomic Beacon.
Yeah.
And later on we had Mark become a co-host, and
Hi
he's of autumnlake.com.
Man with the golden voice.
That's me.
And later on, we've sort of had Alex as an intermittent a guest co-host sort of thing, because she can't be here every time.
No, I'm
but
making fun of your
she contributes a lot.
pronunciation of intermittent.
Intermittent, occasional, semi-regular
I jumped on the
co-host.
TV tropes
Alex
name.
Heberling of alexsguide.net.
Well, what?
She helps out with the newscast and the tropecast that we have, but she's here with us on the core program. And with us today, we're gonna. How am I gonna say it? Kaz. We just have Kaz. I forget the rest of your name. I'm sorry.
Karen Howard.
Karen Howard of warofwinds.com, and the other one I forgot.
What it takes.
What it takes.
It takes a lot for him to remember it.
Her more recent thing.
Sorry.
See, normally I have a computer with the internet and stuff I can pull up and like, aha!
Cheat notes.
Cheat note, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even then, there's pausing. You've heard. Yeah. Huh?
Sorry.
So anyway, this is our third year together, Mark, Tanya, and myself. And we have somebody that may be coming in later.
They're not rid of me yet.
That means we have 4 more years before we start to cheat.
Possibly.
I'm going to start to cheat and go on another podcast.
Oh, I already screwed that up. Sorry.
Yeah, you already did that. I still got to
I
get the
keep
other
thinking
guy.
like they need to have me on so they have the other girl
Yeah.
from us.
We may have another guy on later, Adam Smithee, who does. We have a new podcast track called the Tropecast, where we talk about tropes and such. He may be in later, and depending on time, we may do an impromptu Tropecast after this. But we'll see. And Alex has been at Penguicon before, but this is her first year here as a Webcomic Beacon associate.
I have the ribbon this year, guys.
Aren't they cool?
Yes.
They're all like foil and stuff.
Shiny.
They're impressive.
They're a little swirly. Kind of looks like an eyeball.
It's good. It works.
Well, before you said it looked like a target.
Did I?
Yeah!
I thought it looked like
I don't
It
remember.
looks like a bullseye.
I'm sorry, I thought eyeballs were targets. Maybe that's just the martial arts.
Hence the brain damage.
It looks like a pebble that has been thrown into the limpid
I think
pools
it
of a
looks like
girl's
radio
eye.
waves.
Oh, sweet Jesus. You have got it. Kidding me.
It's the ripples that form.
I'm New England.
So for those who maybe don't know about us, we usually will talk about a sort of attempt to talk about a sort of topic or a particular webcomic discussion as far as how do you work with this particular medium, thoughts on advertising. We had a show recently where we talked about payment and funding options. And the newscasts that we also run will talk about more pertinent things that happen. The shows aren't particularly archive-friendly because that happened last week, sort of thing. But, we get people that listen, and we hopefully help people out and encourage people to do their own webcomics and grow from there. But this week we have
Yes.
Karen
Karen?
Howard. I am so sorry.
Kez is fine.
Kez.
Just stick with Kez.
We have Kez.
Come on,
of
make
War
me
of
call you
Winds.
by your real name. That'll be amusing. Go on, do the whale. I so rarely get to do this in public.
Fine.
It's
we,
so...
We you refer to me as Karen Kez Howard the entire time. You may not shorten it.
Ms. Karen Keza. Can
Miss,
we do that?
yes, yeah.
Ms.
Ms.
Every time
Ms.
Kez stumbles, change your name.
So,
I so rarely get to
Flagellate
You know.
him in public.
flagellate you in public. It's over the internet. It's so impersonal, and it's so much better when I can actually watch
video
you.
and evidence too.
It's so much better when I can actually watch you hate me a little.
Because now, because now you can see the hurt look in his eyes and know, yeah.
Got him. We love you. Oh.
No, I'm faking. Anyway,
Yeah.
That's as cold as ice.
yes.
Now that that song is in my head.
So, Kaz, you have this webcomic called War of the Winds. Could you just basically tell us about your comic?
Well, first, it's the War of Winds.
The
not
War of-
War of the Winds.
Which is a little.
You got westerly winds competing with easterly winds and fucking tornadoes. No, wait.
Okay, so
Sorry.
The War of Winds is a comic that I have now been working on for 7 years as of April 26th. So it's got quite a backlog of pages, around 380. It is, as a comic with that many pages would seem, an epic story. So it's epic fantasy adventure. It's based on a novel that's already written. So when I first started in comics, I decided to illustrate the novel, and that's where I started getting into comics. I'd actually never read comics before I started, so for anyone entering into the horror that is the first 50 or so pages of the War of Winds, I sincerely apologize because they're really truly bad.
So when you started, I gotta interject and ask. So you said you never read comics before you did this. So did you think that you were the first person to put pictures and words together?
Well, I should say, I read the Sunday Funnies, and I will admit my sister got me into Alien Dice. Alien Dice was the first webcomic that I'd ever read. But I was never a fan of comics beforehand, so I became a fan over the years. It started out as a school project, and then it just kind of went from there. For my undergrad, I ended up doing a creative thesis. I was a biology major. I did my thesis on my webcomic. And then now, 80-page thesis on webcomics is great.
I love it.
I was the black sheep of the honors program. They wanted me to do a science thesis, and I didn't feel like working with fruit flies or yeast or zebrafish, so that didn't happen. So I did a thesis on comics. And then now, as a master's student, I'm still taking those skills that I've learned from doing comics, and now I do scientific posters as comics.
Nice.
And so that goes over really well. Kids love that. And
You're kicking ass for science.
For science!
it's
Yet
fine.
you do a fantasy webcomic.
Yes, I know, right?
Did it start as a webcomic? You said it started as a class project, so...
Right. So it started out drawn on paper. So I would scan it in, and then I'd put it in the computer and use some horrible photoshopping abilities and papyrus font. It started in papyrus, not
I remember
print. And
Like Avatar. Papyrus font.
I learned slowly but surely on how to make comics as I went along. But it kind of started out as a hybrid print comic, webcomic.
Okay. So, did your school ever have like a local paper and they said, put a comic in the paper or something like that?
No, not for that. Although, it was featured on the front page, the centerfold, for the Cornhill Arts Festival that I was part of in Rochester, New York. So that was really cool. I was the first comic artist to do anything at that festival, and they gave me a centerfold.
Very nice.
My dad bought like 15 copies of that.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Go, Dad.
But-
Buy 5 copies for my mama.
Yeah, he sent it out to all the relatives. It was really embarrassing.
Oh, your dad's so proud of you! That's right, you don't normally get to see me, act like this, so.
No.
It's an experience,
It
isn't it?
is
Yeah.
quite very memorable.
Where's my hat?
you have a hat
Now I'm
break?
not special
is that,
anymore,
is that what it was?
Well, I meant to wear it, but
Yeah, you've taken away Alex's thunder.
hey, we both came with a hat. And I think I had my hat on before you put yours on.
Oh, it's time for SmackDown.
Oh, it's a hat
It's the
down.
only way to solve
It's a hat.
I see how that is, guys.
You can do the proper
By the way, is there
Michael
candy in
Jackson
here?
thing, though.
There's candy in there.
Candy.
Okay. Oh God,
Oh,
he's
there's
got
a-
sugar. Everybody run!
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Jeez. Are you guys gonna kiss? Because I know the audience has been
Mustache
waiting.
tickles too much. So.
So, anyway. It's delicious
anyway.
candy.
I have to say, it would be less embarrassing for your dad to send around the comics that you do than say like the comics that I do.
Yes, the comics you do.
And oddly enough, the masturbation ones never go through with the Christmas letter.
Yeah. My mom will buy me
Oh.
odd gifts based on various comics. Like when I started doing the corn running joke in the comic, she found this corn-shaped thing of like caramel corn, which she bought for me, and she was gonna give it to me in my Christmas stocking, but she just gave it to me right away because she wasn't sure if corn would still be my thing at Christmas.
Little did she know.
And then when I did a comic about snapping a hair tie, next time I was in town, she's like, "Here." And she had this pack of hair ties for me.
I need your mom. Then it would be like Adult Toy Central at my house. We could open up a resale program.
So
You should really start
I could
asking.
easily like
things.
turn my comic into manipulating my mother for things.
So Kez, if you think your dad embarrassed you, you're on the Webcomic Beacon with Tanya.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry.
So, okay, you also have this other comic which
Son of a bitch.
What it takes.
what it takes to remember
What
this.
will it take? Come on, man.
An internet connection.
The
yeah.
table is what 20 feet from ours.
Well,
She's
the
got
table
Your
looks like
memory
it's
is
longer than
200
it is.
feet.
No, I
Anyway.
don't mean this table. I mean the table with all her comics.
I know, and I stopped by and everything. So you have this other. What it takes is a comic that you started within the
It's about a year and a half
about
old
a year and
now.
a half old.
Yeah.
So so tell us about this new project.
Okay, so What It Takes is completely unrelated from the War of Winds. It's a post-apocalyptic alternate future Earth where a character named Colby, which is a girl, by the way, she is a survivor who is looking for her fiancé, whose name is Peter Wolf. There's a bit of word plays throughout the whole story. For example, Colby is looking for this place. It's called A City in a Place. And it is named so vaguely on purpose so that no one can find it unless a city in a place wants them to. And it's the last place on Earth that has working technology, sanitation, elected government, and that's where she thinks her fiancé might be. And so it's a bit of there's a focus on romance for her. And there's a lot of flashbacks. I kind of took a page from J.J. Abrams' book, so there's like almost flash sideways kind of things, you know. But it goes between her and Peter, and there's a lot of martial arts in there. I market it as a post-apocalyptic martial arts survival story. Nice. So I, as a practitioner of martial arts for probably a good 8 to 9 years in 3 different styles, there's a big focus on real life self-defense and violence. My mom, actually, I don't let my parents read or even know about my comics, okay? And I brought...
Mom and Dad, don't listen.
I brought all of the issues back to my parents' house because I had to stop over there. And what does my mom do? But picks out the issue, flips to the perfect page in the issue, which is a guy getting his throat slashed and just blood gushing out. And that's like, she just flips straight to it. This is my mom's superpower. She will walk in on the scene in the movie where it's like the one scene she can't see. She will flip to the page of the book. That's the one page in the book she shouldn't see. And, but that's...
Power of awkward.
That is indeed my mother's superpower.
Nice.
But it's rated R for language and violence, and it's a mystery romance post-apocalypse story.
Nice.
Well, already then. I've also noticed you have a trove of art and such as well. So when what's What? Trying to be creative here. Anyway. Well, it is. There's like large pieces of
A
fantastic...
veritable smorgasbord. Wow.
Instantaneously, the mind erupts with
A plethora,
golden
nay.
frames and.
Plethora, nay, a myriad.
It is
So you got
quite-
some art over there. Anyway.
Golden frames and sparkling glass.
Yes.
It's a most unpretentious collection of filigree
So,
and wonder.
You got some stuff.
So you do art. Anyway, so as far as like the art pieces that you have done, is that something that you had done before you started doing a comic, or vice versa?
Okay, so I had drawn the stuff out there a few years ago, and but I mean I'd always been into art. Coming out of high school, I had two choices before me: either science or art. And I decided to get my degree in science, but always continue the art. So I mean, I'm kind of trained in. Stop curling that.
He's doing the snidely whiplash
Sorry,
thing
I'm
all
just-
the time. Any second,
fixing.
railroad tracks. I just know it.
Anyway,
Oil can Harry over here.
All right.
the art came before the comic.
All right. All right.
And now you do both. Now you
And
do
now
science art.
It is my goal in life
Art
to not be a mad scientist, but to be a mad artist, because science is art.
Very nice. You are my new best friend.
Hooray! Wait a minute. Does that mean you lost your old best friend?
Yeah, actually, he disappeared, but thanks.
Thanks for bringing it
Awkward.
up, Fes.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, my condolences.
So,
And I guess congratulations on the new one.
I can't do this anymore.
Misbehaving a lot.
It's been 3 years. I can't do this anymore.
I don't know what's going on.
For 3 years, I've shown up once a week and tried to be serious.
You haven't been very good at it. Just saying.
I think I finally lost it. I think I'm done now. And
Breakdown episode.
you're an excellent guest.
Do we need a tissue?
We love you, Tanya.
Oh my god. No, this is good. Talk.
We broke Tanya.
Yeah, a little bit. It's all
Into
good.
how many episodes?
I'm glad this is on video.
What is this, like 180? Oh god, days of my life. No, I'm fine. Go ahead.
And nothing will ever be the same again.
Maybe we should start video conferencing. Maybe we can get some more reactions on the podcast. I don't know.
No, I'm good.
All right.
So Viva for Vendetta over here twiddles his mustache. Off we go.
Now we have audience snorting. Oh my god!
Normally we just sit around talking about boobs, but
It's in the drinking game.
So why isn't there alcohol out here right now? You need to be playing the drinking game.
problem with the hotel.
Do you really want to?
Yeah.
Do you really want to see
How
Fes
fun
drunk?
would that be?
Oh my!
Okay.
I feel
All right.
bad. You have things to say.
Please, dear God.
This is an excellent discussion, and I'm.
What were we
Okay.
talking about?
So, being a person that wasn't really into comics to begin with, when you started your webcomics, but has grown into it, what is your sort of relationship with the webcomics community as a whole? Are you still pretty much fixed around like your little site, or are you a part of any particular communities?
So I am a part of the Spider Forest Webcomic Collective.
Okay.
And I'm a senior member, so I usually help wrangle the newcomers, help them get their site set up. I handle all the news updates on there, sending out email-wide notifications to the network. And I'm probably I mean, there's one or two members who are a bit more elder than I am, but I'm the one who also can do the web design and the coding and update the sites and everything like that. So I'm highly involved at Spider Forest. I used to be involved at Palace in the Sky, but no longer am. And otherwise, I try to be pretty vocal on the webcomic list forums, and I try to keep up to date on what's going on in the communities, but I'm finishing up my thesis right now, my master's thesis, not a creative thesis, unfortunately, and so I have not been as vocal as I wish I could be.
Back to zebrafish and fruit
No,
flies.
luckily it's just intro, cells, and plate.
Nice, nice.
I think we'll have to go into a little bit of explaining what Spider Forest is.
Okay. Spider Forest is a webcomic collective that has probably around 35 members. It's by application only, or invite, I guess. And it's more a place where you receive free hosting and you update your comics. I mean, the focus is on update your comics. You don't have to display ads, but what we want to do is do a lot of cross-advertising and have a nurturing environment that isn't a place like Drunk Duck or Smack Jeeves where your comic gets lost in the mix. So it's, elite is totally the wrong word. We're not elite. I mean, we like people who are good community members who know a little bit about making comics and are serious about improving what they're doing.
That's cool.
So it's a smaller collective, certainly much smaller than Rampage Network, and but we're growing and we're trying to make it bigger and better.
By the way, the Webcomic Weekend is hosted on the Rampage Network.
Yes, I know that.
Four
Anyway.
against one, guys.
So, okay, so you have Spider Force. Actually, we do community showcases, and so we could easily do at some point a Spider Forest community showcase and
That'd be
grab
awesome.
a few members and awesome. All right, cool.
Yeah, I know a few members who would certainly be interested.
Excellent. We'll make plans for that later. But you did also mention something called Palace in the Sky. So,
There's
is there blood here?
I'm like there's teeth sucking.
there blood in the water?
involved with-
Let's hear this.
Now everyone's excited.
No.
Let's hear the objective. What?
The guy who runs it is my friend. I'm not going to say
Okay.
anything about it.
Okay.
But I'm just no longer a part of it. I just disagree with the direction he's taking it, so I wasn't going to put a lot of my time or effort into helping him anymore.
This
But,
this is another collective.
It's not a collective so much as a community whose focus is on cross-linking and advertising, but not on hosting or fostering an inclusive community. It's now more exclusive, and it's more about getting people money for advertising.
Yeah, I looked into it when I was still doing Garanos, and it's basically like you join their network sort of thing, and you put one of their ads on your site, and they will then advertise your comic for free on,
On the other sites.
on the
So
other
he
sites
has
and stuff
something
like
called
that.
an anthology site going where
Yeah.
you have, you give him 20 of your pages with some promo materials, and you display an ad on your site. All the money that he gets from the advertising, he puts into advertising the anthology site, which is supposed to update daily. So the money that he puts into that then brings money back to him because he has his own ads displayed on that, and then you get a lot of click-throughs based on the promo pages that he has displayed there.
Sounds very, very
Which is an
complex.
interesting model.
It could be good for people who are just starting out, but for people who are moving sort of from, the lower tier into like the middle tier, like I was with Garanos at the time, it wouldn't really have benefited me that much. I could have just put another of my own ads on
Yeah.
the site and
Yeah, there's
gotten more out of it.
there's many tiers in webcomics,
Yeah.
mostly because you realize how hard it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's not easy.
Have
But
we
we had
reached the depressive segment already?
no, we had earlier
Later?
yesterday we had a crash course to webcomics panel, which could be fixed up a bit more, I suppose. But
It's a crash course to panels.
well, it's a crash course, but I think I need 2 hours for it.
Is it the panel that crashed? The panel went off course and crashed.
We talked about how webcomics ain't easy.
Yeah.
Webcomics aren't pretty.
Webcomics
Some of them are.
hard.
Webcomics
Some of them
aren't
are
pretty.
like say
Tough.
the War of Winds.
Well, no, behind the scenes.
It's tough.
A cookie for you.
We know he was going to keep trying.
Wait, there's more candy over here. Hang on.
Oh, God.
They're like too small though.
Sugar. Take this back. There's no
You've had your candy.
No.
You'll spoil your dinner.
slap him. What?
Give a guy a twirly mustache. Next
Don't
thing you know,
chew
he'll
them.
have to eat all
What
the
are you
candy.
doing?
You licking the wrapper?
Oh, that's gross. You're done now.
Put that in front of me.
There's spit everywhere.
Put your slimy wrapper in front of me. What is this?
Garbage.
I gotta take advantage of the live
Your
action.
curtain.
I have a 12-year-old autist who's more socially acceptable than you are. What are you doing? We have to put you on ABA therapy. We're gonna have to keep do the laugh. Now we got more for the. We've got more for the drinking.
Best
game.
cackles.
Best
I can't believe I
cackles.
forgot that. Oh.
Alcohol
like a bad
poisoning in the
friend.
works.
Give a guy General Custer face hair. Next thing you know, all gone to hell.
So, webcomics. So, the Webcomic Beacon is essentially one of the longest running webcomic podcasts that are online, aside from a few others.
Where else?
Just a few.
No, but really, I mean, there was Webcomics Weekly, but that went on like a year hiatus, and now they just talk about whatever, so that doesn't count anymore. There was the Gigcast, but they don't update that much, and they were on hiatus for a year and a half, so that doesn't count. We never had a break ever for like that, except for like a couple
I need
weeks.
a break now.
Maybe they know something we
So I'm
don't.
trying to say we're the best. No.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Validate me! Validate me!
See, they have a sense of shame.
Oh, there, that would be the difference.
You don't
No,
have a sense of shame.
Fuck no.
Clearly.
This is why I talk about boobs. We need one central subject we can all agree on, and
Boobs
tits
and
are
Star
good.
Trek.
Like, we're good with that. We can work on it from there.
It's kind of hard when we don't actually come with a particular topic because these live ones will benefit with no particular like actual intelligent conversation.
Would it be too intellectual
but
for the
when we
drinking
have-
game to put Fes justifies the fact that the show's a mess? Like,
I think that is an excellent.
I didn't know if that was too. When you're drunk, it's hard to. That's a lot of words. We've got to condense that down.
But hopefully after this, because this is such a hilarious and awesome podcast.
It says here.
Yeah.
You're on this.
You know, so, oh no, the candy! Go grab it now.
We finally found something. Where's slow-mo when you need it? Tarantino, damn it. Go direct with
That's the way you said that.
We're discombobulating. I understand that the ninja reflexes wouldn't necessarily work.
We've been online for 3.5 years.
It feels like it.